Welcome, everyone. This is Tom. Welcome to the Lone Wolf Prepper channel for Dukes of Hazzard Friday Night Live. Anyway, a few things on the channel before we get into the subject matter of tonight. Anyway, we've gone over 500 subscribers. Thank you to everybody for that, for watching the videos, for the comments, the likes. Yeah, one thing being on YouTube, you got to be thick-skinned because it don't matter how small you are. You can have two people view one of your videos, and one of them will give you a hate comment. You just got to be thick-skinned. But, the good comments far outweigh the bad ones. Hi, Carol. How are you doing tonight? Beautiful evening. I want to do the live outside, but it gets dark too early now, so I got to do them inside. I ain't got a blind for the window. That's why it looks like I got the sun right behind me. But anyway, I appreciate all the comments, good or bad. And they even look at the ones that YouTube won't put out there publicly. Hi, Kristen. How you doing? But there's more good comments than bad comments. That's because us conservatives and patriots are the majority in the country. No matter what anybody tries to say, we're the majority. Never forget that. Like I said, I can look at my comments and I can tell. All right. One thing about this channel, I get all these hate comments. You don't have to watch this. There's nothing in the Constitution that says I got to be concerned with your feelings when I'm expressing myself, and there's nothing saying you got to watch it or listen to it. I think what it is these Democrats, liberals are doing this because they're so used to being brainwashed, sitting in a chair and being forced to listen to what they don't want to hear, that they're just used to that. Anyway, I don't like hearing something. Now, when it's watching something to get intelligence on it, no matter how hard it is to sit through it, I sit through it. And some of the time sitting through some of the liberal channels and stuff and reading their posts is hard because it's like, do we honestly live in two different worlds? This is where I don't understand. Do we honestly live in two different worlds? It's starting to feel that way. Freedom has two different definitions now. Freedom is what you're free to do, what the government tells you to do. And the other ones that think like us, that freedom is something that I get to determine on my own. Okay. As long as you respect other people's freedom and don't interfere with it. That's what these people are doing. They want their ways to interfere with my ways. If you think you need a law passed so you can have an abortion, go for it. Okay? Still make it right, but whatever you need. I just don't understand you liberals. You don't understand freedom. You know why they don't understand freedom? Because what do you need to be totally free? You need to be totally independent. That's why the Indians understood what true freedom was. And now we live in a society where they want to make it dependent on the system. Well, this is where it's leading us. Oh, you're both watching? Okay, Kristen. Anyway, so that's the deal on YouTube, and they are, I don't understand. I watch some channels and, they're so afraid to say what I say, and I just come out and say it. The truth, what I think is the truth. And these people don't want to say the truth. They're afraid to. And then they call themselves conservatives. If you're afraid to stand up for what you really believe in, no matter what the consequence, okay, you're wishy-washy otherwise. How am I supposed to count you as a firm foundation when you will blow with the wind, depending on which direction it's blowing stronger? You don't want to hurt this person's feelings. We're dealing with the death of our country. It's time to start worrying about other people's feelings and adjusting your platform to what some colored-haired freak in a cubicle thinks you should be saying. Anyway, enough on that. Now let's get into the subject. People that are already dealing with SHTF in this country. Okay? And before we get to Aurora, let's talk about the ones that have dealt with it before Aurora, Colorado, that is. No, the parents of that college girl in Athens, Georgia, that got raped and murdered by the Venezuelan piece of shit gang member. Okay? About that 12-year-old in Texas. And on and on. And you're not talking just violent crimes you're dying from. They're talking about crimes you're dying from drunken driving. All this stuff. Families are suffering because the border is open. And they don't care. And you know why I know they don't care? Because before I get into what's happening to Aurora, I want to tell you about a little clip I saw from yesterday from the local Denver news station interviewing the mayor of Denver and the mayor of Aurora. And they say we're blowing this all out of proportion, that they're working together to solve all this. Okay? Well, nothing's being taken care of. But now, like that video I did when Venezuela comes to your front door, well, now some people are experiencing Venezuela at their front door. And where is this happening right now? That we're hearing about it. And actually seeing video of it. That would be Aurora, Colorado. I mean, a gun-free county or whatever they call it. And these illegals are walking through an apartment complex with weapons, threatening tenants. Just total stuff that this country is not founded on. Total stuff that they do in Venezuela. Okay, and why do we got this? How come Venezuela crime rate went down? Oh, I don't know. Maybe because they emptied out the prisons and sent them all up here. And I know Aurora, Colorado, this isn't the only place it's happening. They're trying to hide this. But you get those two mayors on it, and they don't even care. They're acting like the problem isn't as big, and it's not existing. It's like they see it, but they don't want to acknowledge it. Working with police. Well, let's see what's going on. You know, they're running through this apartment complex just took over. What about the Americans there? I mean, are they when they're calling 911, are they getting told by the cops you're on your own? Wussy-ass cops. And I'll get into that when I get into another subject about these wussy beta male cops. Okay? They're just like liberals. As long as it's 10-1 and you got it completely outnumbered and completely overmanned, then you go after them. If it's one-on-one, you stay away from them. You never take on a challenge. Out of California, a group of Venezuelan gang members tried to hijack a school bus twice. Yeah, why do you think? What's the big thing in Venezuela again? Oh, yeah, kidnapping. To get money. Especially when you know you can kidnap a busload of kids and they ain't going to do nothing about it. Pay the fine, and then you get off, and it's crazy. It's crazy. Where are the cops? Where are they? How can this be going on? How can there be video going around on the internet, on the news stations about this, and the chief of police still has a job, and the mayor hasn't been run out of town, tarred and feathered. I mean, you Democrats really think you're fooling everybody in the country? I mean, I don't know how many people are going to vote for you in Aurora, but it's going down a lot. Okay? Just like in, where was that place in Ohio with that derailment? God, I can't remember that town. This is just, Democrats screwing you over. Problem really don't exist. These Venezuela gang members are at these people's front door now. The problem for them exists. Does Mr. Mayor, do you need to wait till they're at your door before the cops are shooting them dead at the gates in your yard? How do these people get into political office? Nothing but a bunch of lying little beta males. And I don't know what you women call a beta female, but that's all they are. Okay? They won't acknowledge it's happening. It's too much. It's hysteria. They're making more out of it than it actually is. You got an armed group of men coming to your door, telling you they're in control of your life, and you can't do nothing about it. That's the America we live in. Like, say, where are you, cops? What would happen if, I don't know, a conservative or a white supremacy group would have done this? Out in a ghetto or something, in a black neighborhood. I shouldn't say ghetto, but, they want to group you together. That's how they keep you oppressed, by keeping you on reservations just like the Indians. You understand how Democrats work now? Not the white guy who's against you, So anyway, yeah. What if a white conservative group would have done it? We'd never do nothing like this. Or a white nationalist group. How long would it take the cops and SWAT to come in there and clean that place out? Just like Chop and Chaz. You go, we couldn't clean it up. It's there for, I don't know, I think the first one was there for a couple of weeks, wasn't it? It took them, a couple hours, if not even an hour to clean it out? But where are the cops? You guys are helping create this crime. When our gangs in our cities won't even stand up to these Venezuela gangs. This is what we're dealing with. These are hardcore criminal killers that don't care because they're allowed to get away with it. Hell, not only allowed to get away with it, they're getting money when they come through the border to help them achieve their pursuit of happiness. Anyway, that's just one thing. So now we got the third world country taking over neighborhoods in our country. Okay? And somehow the people in charge can do nothing about it. But they can hunt down January 6th protesters till the end of time. Whatever. All I'm saying, watch Aurora, because if you live in a big city, it's coming to you. I mean, if we got it now to our country where we're expecting our gangs in the street, the Bloods and the Crips, and how many ever the American gangs to protect America now, if that's what's going on, well, I guess what am I supposed to do? Go join a gang to defend my country? Whatever. If you guys are the first line of defense over this stuff, then so be it. But, I can't believe the gangs are being pushed out by these criminal elements. How can they outnumber our gangs already? This country's in for a world of hurt. When they get more people here when they get so many people here that they're allowed to vote, where they can just vote themselves in charge of our country. Then what, Democrats? Your little child finally got too wild, you couldn't control him. And what happens in a house where the kids are ruling and parents aren't? Anyway, that's enough. But just shows you one thing: prepare for civil unrest. That's one form of it, the way it's coming. The United States is going to get hit with a lot of stuff. This is just one. The gang-related, foreign gang-related activities that us U.S. citizens are going to deal with, okay? That's just one, okay? Here's another one we got to deal with. ATF shootings. Yep. The ATF gunned down another dastardly criminal again with a 6 a.m. come through your house like you're an invading army, shooting them dead again. Raids. Okay? Now, here's some of it was in San Antonio, 6 o'clock in the morning. But we have witnesses inside the apartment to this. We have witnesses. And they actually interviewed his friend, his roommate. And I think his roommate's mom or whatever, cousin, were sleeping in the living room. So they get woke up at 6 in the morning. This is a friend's account. Beating on the door, breaking in the door. So obviously a no-knock warrant. Okay? It was, friends said they thought they were being, they thought their lives were in danger. They didn't know who was on the other side. They're beating on the door. He said they came in, said police, shot his buddy 3 times. Killed him. He said if his friend would have been allowed to surrender, he would have surrendered. I don't even believe criminals should have to deal with this. Somebody who's on death row gets treated more humane than the ATF and the FBI goon squads, death squads are doing to people. Anyway. And then they want me to worry about Russia, right? Russia and China. Really? Is Russia going to come up this North Whitman Road and come and kill me because I'm saying something nasty about Russia? Is that what's going to happen? Because I'm telling the truth about Russia? Russia's going to come up that road with SUVs, people armed with weapons that the citizenry is not allowed to have. The Second Amendment is for the citizen, not police forces. But I'm supposed to worry about Russia doing that, right? I don't have to worry about Russia doing that. Putin's got that, and hasn't got that on his mind. You know who Putin's got on his mind? Not me as an American. He's got those boneheads in D.C. Okay? But I'm supposed to fear Russia when the ATF and FBI are doing this nonstop now. These 6 a.m. shoot you to kill you raids, where people feel their lives are in danger. And they're right, they are. Can you imagine getting woke up from a peaceful sleep? And you take 3 steps and you're dead by people that are there supposed to protect you? All I got to say is ATF and FBI, obviously your policy for your 6 a.m. raids aren't working for the individual you're trying to arrest. Maybe that process needs to be reviewed a little bit. What do you think? Then, with all this is on, we're supposed to give up our right to defend ourselves. Like in Minnesota, if this happens now, since he stupid ass walls pass that new law saying, or sign the new law, all the Democrats in the House and Senate passed it, where you got to have your guns locked in a cabinet with a trigger locked in. So have a trigger locked in a cabinet and your ammo in a different spot in a separate room locked away. So much for protecting yourself from your 6 a.m. raids. This is insanity that's still going on. The ATF, the feds, death squads need to be met, especially in these cities. You need to start organizing a reactionary group, just like a neighborhood watch that you have, except these reactionary groups are formed of all the armed citizens of your neighborhood, that when the feds come and do this, you escort the feds out of your neighborhood. Out. Get out. I'm sorry, I don't fear Russia. But I know when the FBI comes in here, when I know I get word there's 3 or 4 black SUVs screaming up the road, well, I know I'm in my last minutes. But I ain't going down without a fight, you bastards. There's 3 stages of we're in the first stage: division, deceit, and destruction. Yeah. I want to make a video. Instead of truth, justice, and the American way, we're now lies, equity, and the communist way. I guess we need Superman back. Superman would now be told to sit in the corner and be tolerant. Who do you are? Think you're better than somebody else? You're not here to save us. That's what the government's job is for. Anyway, it's gotten out of control. Us citizens have to do something. You cannot allow your neighbors excuse me. You cannot allow your neighbors to be getting shot down by federal 3-letter agencies. You have a right to your day in court. If you have all these agents show up with guns, I mean, the thing is, there shouldn't even be federal agents there. See, they could go ahead and shoot somebody, kill them, leave the town, and they ain't got to worry about it. The local police aren't quite as so lucky. I don't understand why these chief of police and mayors and these sheriffs are allowing the federal government into their area. Get out. Give us a warrant. We'll take care of it. Because every time these morons show up at 6 a.m., somebody dies. Where was it? In Memphis, 3 of them got shot. That's still, and all of it's foggy. Of course, no information. It's all hush-hush. But I tell you what, his best friend, his roomie, and then they made him step over the body so they could sit there and throw him in a cop car. What a bunch of pricks. Serve and protect. You come here to take my freedom, I have every right to take your life. That's just the way it is. Piece of shit beta males. That's all they are. Bunch of lawyers with guns. Think they have tough muscles while they're banging each other up the ass. With permission to execute American citizens and get away with it. And come up with whatever they want. Whatever story they want. So now I guess if you got an arrest warrant from the ATF or the FBI, it's actually a death warrant. That's okay. That's okay. I fear nothing with God on my side. Anyway, like I say, former reactionary groups, local police, you can't allow this crap to be happening. You just can't. I mean, it's bad enough that Aurora has to worry about Venezuelan gang members at their doors with guns, and the cops won't do nothing. And other citizens in this country have to worry about a threat of the federal government's three-letter agencies coming to shoot you down. Kind of like taxing you, making it and spending it. You're screwed no matter which way you go. Crazy time. Crazy time. So this is another thing you need to prepare for. The government showing up and wanting to off you one day. Carol Prince, I don't know if you heard yet, but the U.S. Army has taken over a hotel in New York City. Remember the days of Monica Lewinsky, everybody? How far we have gone with politicians promising everybody their lives are going to be so much better if they disagree with that or vote me in. How far we've come from since then, both geopolitical and in our own country. I saw this in 1994 when I first got out of service. I couldn't convince nobody. I was just a raving lunatic Marine. And now that everybody can start seeing it, no one's supposed to shut up. Well, like you said, I've been going off for well over 30 years. I'm not going to shut up. Okay. So like I say, now you got to worry about Venezuela gangs. And some Mexicans gangs too. I can't remember what that one is. I was watching a live stream of Angry Prepper last night walking through New York City. Oh my God. How? I mean, I could never live in that. I don't care how much money you give me. I could never live in that. And I don't chase money anyway, but I could never live in that. That's a choice you do to live there. And, what I'm seeing and stuff, when stuff gets crazy, like, my fingers are all full lotion. He ain't gonna be able to get out. Desperate people are going to do desperate things. Thank God he's a big man, but, I mean, no way. Anyway, all right. So, now let's talk about the first Harris interview. Did you see all the mice running around? Rats were, yeah. Oh, you were watching that video too, Carol? Yeah. The bags moving and stuff. Oh my God. Some of those snakes slithering around that city should take care of them. Anyway, yeah, how do you live in that? And the thing is, when stuff goes south after 48 hours, just imagine what it's going to look like. Anyway, yeah. It's an environment that I couldn't handle, okay? Just being around all the people would drive me nuts. I didn't see the raccoon. I could handle a coon. I got to deal with them all the time. But I'm not going to deal with rats when there's so many of them that they're moving the garbage bags. Okay? God, I hope Angry Prepper makes it out of there. Anyway, let's talk about the Harris interview. Now, I don't know how the Democrats keep putting these people out there and they're calling that a success. She's an embarrassment. I mean, if she performed, this was an edited, taped, pre-recorded, every softball questions, and the one she couldn't even get by, she goes, go on to the next one. But anyway, what's she going to do on a stage against Trump? I mean, that woman is going to do worse than Biden did. Then what are they going to do? Replace? I don't even think there's going to be a debate. The Democrats aren't stupid enough to do that one. Okay, yeah, Carol, you couldn't pay me enough to live in New York City. See, I was there once, had to run to one of the airports to pick up a sergeant. That was enough for me. Ain't going to do it again. But the Harris interview. How can anybody think she's presidential material? How can anybody think she's going to get on the big stage with the big boys like Xi Jinping, Putin? What's she going to try to be? Become another Cleopatra? I'm sorry, woman, but like I say, if you were a man that had to lower yourself to sleep with her and you were famous and rich, I don't know what to tell you. But and then you had Tim Waltzy in there in the back acting like, one of those strong liberal women with the man carrying the man purse behind her. Perfect setup. By the way, they call that presidential. What's your policy? I have no policies. It's all Trump's fault. And then the thing too, I hate it when politicians use our money to buy votes. I don't care who does it. Okay, Trump sits there and puts $5,000 extra added to the tax child credit. She goes $6,000, adds more money to the pot. How about you get rid of the tax credit, rid of the IRS, and get rid of income taxes? Okay, and that means if you don't want to work, you don't get no money. That's the thing with Labor Day coming up, right? That's amazing. Most people that celebrate Labor Day don't believe in doing labor. Spoiler alert. That's my short of the day for that day. It's the truth. Oh, you got this younger generation that celebrates it, and they're complaining that they don't want to even do a 40-hour week anymore because it doesn't pay the bills. Well, it doesn't pay the bills because the morons you keep voting, putting in office are causing it. Anytime you say a politician wants to save your life, they're going to give you something for free. You pay with your freedom. That's why I don't take nothing from the government. Never have and never will. Of course, I did take a paycheck from them when I was in the Marine Corps, but I was told at the time that's how I was getting thanked twice a month. I left it at that. Anyway. It was an embarrassment, like she always is. Trump's going to destroy her if they have a debate together. That's why I know they can't do it. There's no way they can put her on the stage with Trump. And one thing about the debates I don't understand, okay. He was president, and he keeps up on current events. I'm sure he's got a staff and a meeting, just like he did almost in the White House, every day telling what's going on. She's vice president, doing this type of work every single day. Why do you need to prep for a debate? I don't understand that. If you're in your job field and somebody from another job field that thinks they know more than you starts talking about your job field, do you have to prepare for that debate? Or can you just all of a sudden just talk about it and debate them? Because you have hands-on knowledge. If you got to prepare for a debate, it tells me you're not prepared for the job, especially when you're supposed to be doing the job. Somebody were to debate me about being a cowboy, bring it on. Let's do it right now. Anyway, but prepare. It's just the game going on. They can't let her on stage because she'll embarrass herself even worse than Joe Biden. Because at least Joe did go out there and with her word salad and insult people. This woman insults people. Remember how Joe just minutes before the debate, he's going to slam dunk Trump and stuff, right? And then they're crying after the debate. They ain't going to go through that again. I mean, and this is another thing. Trump, you actually got to prep to debate a Democrat, a communist, Just bring the Constitution, start reading it. Anyway, we're being set up, and then they're saying she's ahead by 2 points. And then I'm hearing on YouTube, well, they got to make it close because, well, if it's within 2 percentage points, they can just take it because we'll basically accept the steal then. It's not even going to be that close. I mean, nobody likes her. Everybody, I'm sure, since they're splitting families up so much, everybody, I'm sure, has got an older Democrat that like Joe Biden in their family. And are kind of scratching their heads, wondering what the hell just happened. And, they're really not considering voting. The Democrats got robbed too. You Democrats were the first one to get robbed in the election. You got robbed of your candidate. Okay? And you got this one installed that by the elites in the party that nobody's voted for. And I wouldn't be surprised if they try to put her in the presidency without her ever getting voted. If she becomes president through ascension because Joe Biden, something happens to him or he resigns, and she's president on November 6th, who's going to tell her on our side that she can't be president no more? That was one thing, my predictions about her being president by today. I was wrong. But I still think it's going to happen. They're going to have to do something. All right. So anyway, and Harris is a communist. So, that's another thing to prepare for after the election, if we have an election, or if they put Trump in jail, or whatever starts a civil unrest. Okay? This is another thing we're going to be dealing with. Partisan war. At the same time, we're having to deal with foreign invaders. At the same time, we're going to have to deal with our domestic enemy, the foreign government. I mean, our federal government. At the same time, we might be having to deal with a war, an invasion or whatever, missiles coming in from a foreign country. You see what you need to prepare for? All hell breaking loose. Brought to you by the people in charge that are trying to make your life better. Anyway, we living in the twilight zone. And people complaining about what's happening, and I don't want to complain. I want to do something about it. I'm sick of bringing the news about what the Democrats are doing. I want to start bringing the news about what us patriot conservatives, vets are doing to stop it. Okay? We just kicked the federal government out of this part of the country. That's what I want to start reporting on and be active in. Yep, I'll be an active fighter against our federal government. There's no doubt about it. See, I know who my enemy is. I start feeling that pressure on me. I start feeling where I feel restricted. Tim Waltz. Where I feel that the morals of this country is being swayed. Anyway, it doesn't matter. You're the enemy of the American people in the world. And you eventually are going to have to be dealt with. So anyway, that's all I got for tonight. It's going to be a short one tonight. So anyway, prepare for all hell to break loose. Prepare to be on your own for quite a while. Okay? I think it's possible that she could be president before November 6th. Yeah. I really think they have to. It's going to be a lot harder kicking her out of there when she's already president than it is if she's vice president, and you got two sides that can, well, 50% of us stand behind Trump, 50% of us stand behind Kamala. Joe's out, so the fight is on. Question, is the book setting in the window ledge above your head? Oh, no, that's the cowboy. That's not a book. That's just a plaque. I got a little. See, this is the thing. I haven't got my house set up right all the way up. I ain't got my pictures set up and stuff. But I got a lot of cowboy pictures and stuff. But no, that's just a knick-knack I picked up. Here, I'll go get it once real quick. See, it's got a little star there, and there used to be a star there. But, oh, yeah, I'm a cowboy. I have to put it up later. In this country, you're still allowed to follow your dreams, no matter what age you are. You want to jump out of an airplane at 90 years old, you can do it. All you got to have is determination and drive to do it. That's what I did. The best thing about a lot of the things I do, I get paid to do them. I didn't go to a vacation dude ranch and basically learn nothing. I went out to Wyoming in the middle of the winter into the mountains, learned how to rope and ride. I experienced it. Okay? Anyway, yeah, one day I'll get all my pictures up. Anyway, but everybody have a good night. Prepare and try. We got a lot of bad stuff coming down the pike. Get prepared, but do stuff to enjoy yourself. This is your time for R&R too. Because when the heat is on and you're worried about every step you take, anyway, but everybody have a good weekend. And like I say, get those reactionary groups formed. I'm sick of seeing on the news where somebody gets killed by the FBI and ATF and the neighbors do nothing about it. I really hope America's closer than that. Anyway, everybody have a good night and a good weekend. This Lone Wolf Prepper, out.